Hi everyone, I'm going to do one episode in English just because I am experimenting. So, this episode is about emotional health and taking care of our emotional needs. It may overlap with some of the emotional health theory I've been doing in Chinese. So, as I mentioned in those episodes, like I had some of my clients were airline engineers, and I've learned from them that how rigorous they test and do maintenance to the airplanes. They usually rush onto the airplane as soon as the passenger disembarked, and they hook up with all their equipment and test all the signals and everything. And before the airplane is allowed to take off again, and then they also ground the airplane regularly to do a thorough checkup and maintenance. So as soon as I heard that, my immediate thoughts were like, why don't we do the same to our emotional well-being? Because life's journey are full of challenges, ups and downs, turbulence, unexpected losses and trauma, difficult people to deal with. So we go through so much emotionally, and yet, well, it's my impression, I hope I'm not accurate, but my impression is most people don't pay much attention to what's going on with themselves emotionally. Even when, something traumatic or big is happening, people usually don't know what to do. I do have the habit to kind of do self-checkup and maintenance emotionally. I do a lot more when I first started practicing, and I don't do much now. I tend to do that only when I'm not feeling very well, like something's going on that I don't quite understand. So I think I'm an advocate for emotional checkup and maintenance. That's the whole kind of purpose of I'm doing this episode. Because exactly like physical signals, like we kind of take care of ourselves a lot better physically. We listen to our body, and also the signals our body send to us in terms of what we need. If we are hungry, then we go and grab a meal. If we're tired, then we try to rest. So, and also we do regular, most of us hopefully do regular physical checkups, so we know what's going on with us physically. But emotionally, I don't know. Like I hope you guys leave me some comments if you do, regular sort of snapshots, what we call. Like sit down, take a snapshot of where you are emotionally. Are you okay? How are you doing? What's going on in terms of your emotional well-being relate to what's going on with you in your life at that moment. So if we do that, the very first step is that we start to get to know more about ourselves, because people are very complex and their feelings are also very complex. So a lot of times we don't know ourselves, and we surprises us sometimes when something happened that we react a certain way, like that unexpected. Those are good opportunities also to know what's going on with us and get to know us better, and also learn to take care of ourselves better. The first step, of course, is awareness, and then some regular practice. If you don't have that habit, you probably need some regular practice. Just take 5 minutes a day and sit down and take a snapshot of yourself. How are you doing emotionally, and what's going on in your life? What are some of the things you're happy about? And if you're upset about something, what are they? Making a list of them. And then, are there any things you can do to look after all the emotional needs that your feeling may tell you? So that's the first step. And the next step is curiosity and investigation. Sometimes it takes some time to find out. I have clients a lot of times, coming in and sit down and say, oh, I feel horrible for a long time, but nothing's going on. There's no reason that I feel this way, which is absolutely not true. There's always a reason for our feelings. And if you think there's no reason, that's because you do not know. And we, as counselor, probably can take guesses, but you are the expert of yourself. We cannot know you better than yourself a lot of times. We can guess, we know the pattern, we know sometimes in terms of what happened in a person's life that what might be some of the feelings or issues, but it's still up to you to confirm that. People are very different. So it takes a lot of curiosity to find out what's going on, but you need to remember, whatever you're feeling, there's always a reason. Just like your physical feelings. So it takes some time and takes some practice to find out some answers sometimes. So I don't know, people are different. Some people are very curious about themselves, and there are also people who really don't care. So this episode is not for them. And another thing has to do with intimate relationship. So to me, life is all about getting our needs met, right? If most of our needs are met, we are in a good place in life and we're relatively happy, contented. And if our needs are not met, then especially over time, then we may develop, emotional issues. It's relatively easier if you're on your own, like you're single and you can sit there, analyze yourself, and also it's easy when you know what your needs are. You can just go ahead and try to meet them. If you want to go and see a movie, you can go and see the movie you want to see. If you want to go out for a meal, you go for the restaurant, the cuisine or whatever you like, Vietnamese, Japanese. But it gets a lot complicated once you're in an intimate relationship, because people usually don't want to see the same movie sometimes, or eating the same meal, So that's why in the beginning of a relationship, a lot of times people experience difficult times, because they have to learn to negotiate in a way that they can get both partners' needs met to a bigger extent. And some relationship, through struggle, they kind of learned how to negotiate. Their other relationship may keep on having difficulties. For example, if you have an over-accommodating partner, then she or he may not feel good to assert his or her own need. Like, I want to see this movie this time and I want you to accommodate me. Sometimes some people don't feel comfortable doing that, so they are overly accommodating. And I'd say, in a sense, these are the people who do not know themselves very well, because you cannot accommodating other people long term. And you need to know when to ask other people to accommodate you. If you think you can just keep accommodating another person, you have a happy relationship, then you're fooling yourself, right? Because somewhere down the line, you'd be very frustrated because most of your needs are not met and you feel resentful. And then when these time has arrived, couples usually have a big fight. But they're fighting for whatever happened at that moment. They usually are not fighting the root cause of the problem. So that takes some understanding of what's going on. It takes some sitting down and a little bit analysis for you to know what you're fighting for. It's usually not what you're fighting on the surface. The same is true, of course, if you have a very demanding partner, and then you feel like you cannot, you don't want to fight too hard. So the other person is really good at meeting their needs, and then you're not. Somewhere down the line, it will, backfire between the two of you. So it's very important not only to know what your needs are, also what needs is important enough that you cannot let go. Like if you accommodate, you forego that needs somewhere down the line, both of you are going to take a hit. It's not worth just letting go. Sometimes you just need to fight for your needs, because if you don't, you'll have bigger problems later on. So, but intimate relationship is really great opportunities to know yourself and learn how to take care of not only you and your partners. So there are special occasions that you might want to pay more attention, to sit down and analyze or try to understand yourself. One is that you're reacting in a way that doesn't make sense. So you're taking out maybe your feelings on small things at the person who's nice to you, and it's not making sense. So usually it's something else is bothering you and building up, and you haven't addressed that one, or you do not know how. And if you do not know how, then you might need help. So that's one. And sometimes if you feel something very intense, then it's good to sit down and have a look at what's going on with you. If you fight for something you don't understand, if you fight a big fight for some small things, and those are the times that you might want to have a closer look at what's going on. And people are very capable and resourceful. And if you try to do that, chances are, at least half of the time, you probably find a solution for your problem. And you can zoom in, you can focus on solving that issues and taking care of that needs and that feeling. And then you'll be healthier emotionally. So that's what I can think of so far. And also I've noticed that my subscriber is very slowly climbing up a little bit. I think I know half of them are my good friends who knows me personally, and I really appreciate your support. But my special thanks to my subscribers who do not personally know me. It's such an encouragement for me that it means so much. And thank you very much. And I also want to say all the comments are welcome and the subscriptions. Thank you.